College football week 2 predictions coming up next. But before I get into those, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Gridiron Ring on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right here on YouTube. Follow me at CoolHandLuke96 on Periscope. I'm sorry I was not on Periscope for any week 1 college football games. Lost my voice on Saturday at the Penn State game like I normally do. And then yesterday, the game last night between Miami, Florida, and LSU, basically a blowout. So I'm glad I didn't get on because I would have been bored out of my goddamn mind. But my voice is back. College football week 2 predictions today. I said be sure to follow me on Periscope, CoolHandLuke96. I'll be on this Thursday for sure for the NFL opener between the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, as they host the Atlanta Falcons on Thursday night, September the 6th on NBC at 8:30. So I'll be on Periscope for that. Mark my words on that. You can take that to the bank. And then this weekend as well for college football, I will not be on Periscope. I will be at the Penn State-Pitt game Saturday night in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field. But then the following weekend, I plan on doing 2 college games that day, and then an NFL game that weekend as well. I'll be doing another NFL game this upcoming Sunday, as this upcoming Sunday is the first Sunday of the NFL season. And then be sure to go check out Gridiron Ring's website as well. All the links are in the description below. So go like, follow, and subscribe to Gridiron Ring on social media. Excuse me. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well. The links are in the description below. So week 1 of the college football season is in the books. Minus 1 game. There is one more game this evening. Virginia Tech goes to Tallahassee to play Florida State. I have the Seminoles in that game. Last week I went 14-7 going into this game tonight on Monday night, Labor Day, as today is Labor Day 2018. Going to get this filmed, going to get my 2018 NFL predictions with week 1 preview as well, filmed before the middle of the week here. So that's why I'm doing this today, unlike I would normally do on Tuesday and upload late Tuesday night or on Wednesday. But 14-7 last week, going into this game tonight on Labor Day, as I said. So 14-7 on the year with only 1 week in the books. It was a pretty average week 1 opening weekend of the college football season. I thought last year and in years past the opening weekend was better than this past weekend, but you move on. Central Florida defeated UConn on Thursday night 56-17. I thought they played pretty well without Scott Frost. I'll get to Nebraska here in a minute. Northwestern defeated Purdue 31-17. It was close as I thought it would be, but it was more high scoring than what I thought it'd be. Michigan State, they hung on and defeated Utah State at home by 7, 38-31. Wasn't that easy of a win as I thought it'd be, but a win's a win. They won 38-31. They were tied up 31 there in the middle of the 4th quarter. Ended up, or they were down, excuse me. They scored, went for 2, got it, so they went up 7 and ended up winning by that. Wisconsin and Jonathan Taylor defeated Western Kentucky 34-3. Taylor had 145 yards rushing on 18 carries and 2 touchdowns as well. Another Heisman hopeful this year, Bryce Love and Stanford, they defeated San Diego State also on Friday night 31-10. Taylor beat out Bryce Love though. Bryce Love only had 29 yards rushing on 18 carries and 0 touchdowns. So they both had the same amount of carries. Love had 29 yards. Jonathan Taylor had 145, and Taylor had 2 touchdowns compared to Bryce Love's 0 touchdowns. So who won that? Taylor, obviously. All you need for that is common sense. Colorado defeated Colorado State in the Rocky Mountain Showdown 45-13. Ole Miss defeated Texas Tech 47-27. I think it's going to be a long year for the Red Raiders. Cliff Kingsbury, this could be his last season as the Texas Tech head coach. Ohio State then demolished Oregon State at home, 77-31. Urban Meyer, this was the first game without Urban Meyer. They really didn't need him anyway, but they defeated the Beavers 77-31 on Saturday afternoon. Quarterback Dwayne Haskins had 5 touchdowns, and running back Mike Weber had 3 touchdowns. Maryland defeated Texas for the second year in a row, 34-29. Texas, as of now, is not back. Oklahoma defeated Florida Atlantic at home, 63-14. No Baker, no problem. NC State defeated James Madison at home, 24-13. Penn State defeated Appalachian State, 45-38. And what I thought was the best game of the weekend, you got to give App State credit. They played their game, and they should have won, to be honest with you. Zach Thomas, App State's quarterback, first career start. He had one hell of a game. I believe he threw for about 275 yards. He had a touchdown, maybe 2 touchdowns if I can remember correctly, but he did have that interception late in the game, the only turnover of the game in overtime, which sealed the deal for Penn State. But App State's head coach, Scott Satterfield, he has to be one of the hottest up-and-coming coaches in the profession at the moment. Trace McSorley, I have written down here, had 230 yards passing, 68 of those to redshirt freshman wide receiver KJ Hamler, who really came on for the Nittany Lions late. Hasn't played a game since his senior year in high school, redshirted last year, and he had one heck of a game as well. McSorley also had 53 yards rushing, but Miles Sanders, the junior running back for Penn State, led the way on the ground with 91 yards rushing on 19 carries and 2 touchdowns. Ricky Slade also, number 4 for the Nittany Lions, a true freshman running back, had a touchdown in the second half. But Penn State, they got to get better at tackling, and they go to Pitt on Saturday night, a game I will be at. I'll probably be losing my voice again like I do every game I attend. But Penn State defeated App State 45-38 in overtime, and Penn State goes to Pitt on Saturday night for the 99th meeting in the Keystone Classic. Auburn defeated Washington 21-16 in the Chick-fil-A kickoff game. West Virginia defeated Tennessee 40-14. Will Greer, another Heisman hopeful, just as I thought, would throw for 250 to 300 plus yards passing. He ended up with 429 yards passing and 5 touchdowns. So West Virginia had to have. I didn't watch the game obviously because I was at the Penn State game. Both games were at 3:30 there. But West Virginia, they must have got a field goal and a safety in there as well to get the 40 points. Washington State surprisingly defeated Wyoming, I thought, 41-19. They had a 28-point second half to defeat the Cowboys. Cal defeated North Carolina for the second year in a row as well by a score of 24-17. Cincinnati got a safety late in the fourth quarter to defeat UCLA 26-17. Notre Dame defeated Michigan at home 24-17 as well. Michigan Wolverine fans, don't panic. You guys will be fine. Alabama defeated Louisville, blew them out in Orlando 51-14. Tua Tagovailoa is your quarterback in my opinion. Jalen Hurts, he played a couple series, had like 75 yards passing, but Tua, he did it all for the Crimson Tide on Saturday night in Orlando. Tua Tagovailoa is your starting quarterback. BYU defeated Arizona 28-23. I will never ever pick against BYU again. I picked against them on Saturday, came back and bit me in the ass just as I thought it would. And now BYU, they host Cal on Saturday, so I'll get to that game here in a minute. And then LSU defeated Miami, Miami, Florida last night, 33-17. The U is not back either, so Texas and Miami are not back, especially by the way they played on Saturday and Sunday, respectively. And then, as I said, today's Monday, September 3rd, 2018, Labor Day 2018. Virginia Tech, Florida State is tonight. Now, normally, we don't have Sunday or Monday games during the college football season, but because it's opening weekend, that's why. As I said, the best game in my opinion was App State and Penn State. Impressed. The Alabama offense had close to 600 yards total offense. Disappointed then would have been Miami, Florida. You're ranked in the top 10. You got somewhat of a close game to home. There was a lot of LSU fans there, but there was a lot of Miami, Florida fans there as well. Michael Irvin was going nuts on the sideline last night, only in the first half, because after that, LSU really shut him down. So disappointed Miami, Florida. I don't think they will. They'll probably still be in the top 25, but they'll be at the bottom half of that poll now. And speaking of the polls, the rankings, they are not updated yet because Virginia Tech and Florida State play tonight. They are ranked 20th and 19th respectively. So I'll get into the games now for this upcoming weekend, week 2. So here are my college football week 2 predictions. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching this long, staying tuned in. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Gridiron Ring on all social media. Like I said at the beginning, links are in the description below. So games this weekend, week 2. First game is on Friday night, TCU and SMU. Basically a home game for both teams. I got to take TCU, though, more high-powered than the Mustangs. Mississippi State then goes to Kansas State. Joe Moorhead going up against old AARP, Bill Snyder. Mississippi State put up 63 this past weekend. Kansas State, they had trouble. I believe they played South Dakota. They had trouble with them at home. Mississippi State in a blowout. I'm going to say a blowout. I was going to say shootout, but I don't think Kansas State's going to put up any points. So Mississippi State over Kansas State. Arizona then goes to Houston. I'm going to pick the Wildcats for the second weekend in a row, even though they lost to BYU last week. I think Khalil Tate bounces back. He did have a good game on Saturday night against the Cougars. And now they're going up against Houston on the road. So I got to take Arizona to bounce back. Duke goes to Northwestern, two of the best academic schools in the world. Northwestern, I knew they'd play well this past Thursday against Purdue. I had Purdue, though. They're playing at home. It was close, like I said, more high scoring than what I thought it'd be. But Northwestern playing at home, more high powered between the two teams, between them and Duke. So Northwestern over Duke at home on Saturday. Georgia Tech then goes to Tampa to play South Florida. First ever meeting between the Yellow Jackets and the Bulls. Close, but South Florida because they're playing at home. Chip Kelly is going to lead UCLA then to Norman, Oklahoma to play the Oklahoma Sooners. Kyler Murray and OU, too damn much for the Bruins. Chip Kelly starting 0-2 now at UCLA. Who would have thought that? The tribe of William and Mary then go to Blacksburg, Virginia to play Virginia Tech. Hokies, too high-powered for William and Mary, so Virginia Tech at home. Georgia then goes to South Carolina in an early season SEC showdown. Georgia, too high-powered, way better than South Carolina, even though it's on the road. Should be a close game, but Georgia, I think, will defeat the Gamecocks. Rutgers then goes to Ohio State. This will be the second game the Buckeyes will be without Urban Meyer. Now, Meyer, he is allowed to coach throughout the week, coach practice throughout the week, but he cannot be at the stadium on game days. So this is the second of the third game that he will be missing. Next week they go to Dallas to play TCU. That'll be a really tough matchup, I think, at the moment, but another easy win for Ohio State this upcoming Saturday as they host Rutgers. Ball State goes to Notre Dame. Sorry, David Letterman, go Irish. Colorado goes to Nebraska. Now, I said I'd get to Nebraska here in a minute. Here we are. Nebraska was supposed to host Akron on Saturday night on Fox. They did warm-ups. The game was just about ready to start, and then it started raining really, really bad. They had lightning in the area. They ended up canceling the game. So Nebraska has yet to play. Colorado defeated Colorado State last week in the Rocky Mountain Showdown 45-13. But Nebraska, they get an old Big 12 foe now coming into Lincoln for their first game. Supposed to be their second, but first game now of the 2018 campaign. Nebraska, Adrian Martinez, true freshman quarterback that Scott Frost named will hopefully have a good game against the Buffs. So Nebraska over Colorado. Memphis goes to Navy in an early season American Athletic Conference showdown. Memphis won by 3 last year, but Navy, they're playing at home. So Navy. Iowa State goes to Iowa City to play Iowa. It's a battle for the Cy-Hawk Trophy. Iowa won in overtime last year in Ames, and the Hawkeyes have also won 3 straight. So make it 4. Iowa defeats Iowa State. Clemson goes to College Station to play Texas A&M. Dabo Swinney versus Jimbo Fisher, 9.0. Both of these coaches up against each other are 4-4 when Jimbo was at Florida State, and Dabo's obviously been at Clemson his whole career. But Clemson, Florida State, they play tonight. Still thinking Jimbo's there for some reason. Texas A&M, they beat Northwestern State last Thursday. Yeah, it's Northwestern State. Now you got Clemson coming in, a team who has made the college football playoff the past 3 seasons. And Clemson and Dabo Swinney have had Jimbo's Fisher the past couple years while he was still at Florida State. So Clemson on the road. Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence will have good games. Wyoming goes to Missouri. Wyoming in a bounce-back game on the road. So Wyoming over the Tigers. Virginia goes to Indiana. Normally pick the Big Ten in a game like this, but go Hoos. Wahoo, that is. Go Virginia. Kentucky at Florida. Gators will make it 32 in a row against the Wildcats come Saturday. The last time Kentucky beat Florida, November 15th, 1986. Penn State won the national championship that year too. So maybe if Kentucky does beat Florida on Saturday, maybe Penn State will be in the national title game come the end of the year. I wouldn't mind that. I would be fine with losing that game this week, so Penn State can win the national championship this year. But I think Florida makes it 32 in a row. Fresno State goes to Minneapolis to play Minnesota. First ever meeting as well between these two schools. Bulldogs, they put up 79 last week. Most points of the weekend so far. Still got Virginia Tech and Florida State tonight. I think that's going to be low scoring though, so I don't think that'll be anywhere close. But they played Idaho, but they still put up 79. But Minnesota, they're playing at home. You got to pick the Big Ten in this. As I said, normally pick the Big Ten in non-conference games, and the better of the 2 teams in conference play. But I had to take Virginia in the Virginia-Indiana game, and then I'm going to take Minnesota at home over Fresno State. And then Penn State goes to Pitt on Saturday night. Pitt won 2 years ago in Pittsburgh. Penn State returned the favor last year, and this is the 3rd of the 4th game in this 4-game set. And after next year, after the 100th meeting, this year's the 99th. These teams will not play each other for the foreseeable future, as Penn State and Pitt could not come to an agreement on facing each other in the future, scheduling each other once again. But Penn State, they stumbled a little bit against App State at home last week. They did pick up the win, so a win's a win. Pitt, they beat Albany 33-7. It was 33-7 at halftime as well. No one scored in the second half. I think Penn State fixes what they need to fix, including tackling, as I said, and Penn State goes down to Pitt and wins another close one against the Panthers. USC goes to Stanford, and I think Stanford will defeat the Trojans. USC last year was 2-0 against Stanford. They played each other this weekend last year and also in the Pac-12 title game. But the last time USC won 2 in a row, Stanford won the next 3. So Stanford at home over USC. Cal goes to BYU. As I said, I will never, ever pick against BYU again, so Cougs at home. And then Michigan State goes to Arizona State. So the Spartans will be going up against Herm Edwards, who defeated University of Texas San Antonio on Saturday night. Spartans will bounce back after a close one as well against Utah State. Mark D'Antonio, he's coached at Sun Devil Stadium before. He led Michigan State to the Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl and defeated TCU in that game back in 2012 by a score of 17-16. So those are my Week 2 college football predictions. Again, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to follow Gridiron Ring on all social media. Links are in the description below, like I said. Be sure to stay tuned for my 2018 NFL preview with Week 1 predictions. I'm going to do the same thing as I did in my 2018 college football and Week 1 predictions video. And then next week, we'll have college football Week 3 predictions with a Week 2 recap, just as I did today with Week 2 predictions and a Week 1 recap to start off the show. And then also next week, NFL Week 2 predictions with a Week 1 recap. And then I will be on Periscope Thursday night for the Falcons-Eagles game on NBC at 8:30, September the 6th. And then at the moment, probably the Steelers-Browns game on Sunday at 1 o'clock on CBS, Sunday, September 9th, 2018. Maybe might do a Monday night game next week. There are 2 of them. The Lions and Jets play and the Rams and Raiders play. But we'll have to see. But I know for sure Eagles, Falcons, and Browns, Steelers for the NFL. No college game again on Periscope this weekend. So sorry about your luck if you're hoping for that. But come Week 3 of college football season, I will be on Periscope for sure. So you can take that to the bank as well. So again, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for new videos. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll see everybody next week for new videos and on Periscope this week.